In this video, I'm gonna give you 5 reasons why this DJI Mini 2 is my all-time favorite beginner drone. Let's dive in. The first reason why the DJI Mini 2 is my favorite drone for beginners is its tiny little size. Let me first break down why its size actually matters, more so than what you do with it, in this situation at least. I think it's safe to say that most beginners in photography or filmmaking have smaller kits than that of the pros. Let me put this down really quick. Smaller camera bodies, smaller lenses, smaller camera bags with overall a smaller footprint. It only makes sense to have a drone that matches the scale of the rest of your gear. To me, it would seem kind of silly to have your drone take up the majority of your entire bag like a Mavic Pro 2 would comparatively. I see the Mini 2 taking up the perfect amount of space in a bag next to, for example, an A6400 or an A7C. I also like the fact that it's so small because it makes it very nimble and it's easy to fit and fly through really tight places. It's also much less intimidating to the average Joe walking by watching you fly your drone. Seems like you're flying more of a toy rather than a real piece of filmmaking equipment, so you'll be able to get away with flying in a lot more situations compared to a bigger, more noisy, more scary seeming professional drone. The second reason why I think the Mini 2 is the best drone for beginners is because of its weight. It weighs 249 grams, which I'm sure you already know because it literally says it on the side of the drone. But what that means is you don't need to register it with the FAA because it's considered a micro drone. For those of us in the United States, this doesn't mean that much other than the fact that you're gonna save $5 from having to register it, and you're gonna save yourself having to send more of your personal information to the federal government. But honestly, it's not that much. It's like your name, email, some really basic information that I guarantee they already have on you. But here's where the weight thing gets juicy. For those of you who live in Canada, it means you can fly drones again. In 2019, Canada made a law requiring those flying drones over 250 grams to have their pilot's license. So the next time I visit Canada, this is going to be the drone I'm bringing over my more higher end, more professional, expensive drones because I can legally fly it. Overall, the fact that the Mini 2 is under 250 grams does give you a little bit of extra freedom, but still not a whole lot. You still have to follow all the regular drone rules like not flying over people, etc., etc. The third reason why I love the Mini 2 for beginner flyers or anyone really is the image quality. If the image quality wasn't good out of this drone, even if it was tiny and light, I still wouldn't recommend it. The 4K footage can be used in videos that I'm shooting with a $6,000 plus mirrorless camera sprinkled in, and nobody's gonna know it came from a $500 drone. No, the footage doesn't look as nice as like the Mavic 2 Pro that's about $2,000, but it's a quarter of the price and it still looks really good. I'll let you be the judge of that with the footage that's playing right now. I've sprinkled footage from the Mini 2 in my high-end commercials and client videos, and nobody has ever said anything about the quality of the drone footage not being good enough. I've posted several videos comparing footage of the Mini 2, the Air 2, the Air 2S, the more expensive drones on the market, so I'll link that video somewhere, but you can go see for yourself that the footage out of the Mini 2 is very comparable to the higher end versions. The main downfall when it comes to image quality of the Mini 2 compared to the other drones on the market at a little bit of a higher price tag is the low light, but at the same time, it's really not that bad as you can see right now. Image quality aside, the main things you're getting with the more expensive drones on the market are sensors, so you're less likely to crash your drone, and you're also getting more flight modes like quick shots and those kind of things, which you don't get on this drone, unfortunately. But for a beginner, I think that's actually a good thing because it forces you to fly manually and actually learn how to fly a drone and get cinematic shots manually and not just letting the drone automatically do it for you. With that being said, that leads me into the fourth reason why I love the Mini 2 for beginners, and that is that it's easy to fly. You put this thing up in the air, you take off, you let go of the controls, and it hovers really nicely, even in some pretty high winds. I've flown the Mini 2 in upwards of 20 and 30 mile an hour winds. Yes, at the 30 mile an hour range, it does start to get pretty sketchy, but most slight breezes or gusts, you're gonna be just fine. The Mini 2 feels very nimble when you're flying it. I'm not scared at all to fly through tight spaces. I know it's gonna hold its its track. If I point it forward, it's going to go forward and not drift very much. Overall, I feel really confident flying the Mini 2, and I'll actually grab it a lot of the time over some of my bigger drones just because of how easy it is to fly. And the fifth and final reason why I think the Mini 2 is the best drone on the market right now for beginners is because it's so quiet when it's flying. And this point actually applies to both beginners and professional filmmakers like myself. This reason right here, the fact that it's quiet, is the reason why I'll grab the Mini 2 over the more expensive Air 2S, the Mavic 2 Pro, the Air 2, because if I'm in a little bit more of a crowded area or somewhere very peaceful with nature that I don't want to disturb as much, it still makes noise, it's a drone, I will grab the Mini 2 because it's so much quieter than the other drones that I own. I can tell you from experience, time and time again, other people are much less intimidated by this drone when it's flying around them, and not only are they less intimidated, but they're a lot less annoyed. It's just so much less disturbing to the general public than some of the other drones like the Mavic 2 Pro, the Air 2. Those things are pretty loud and annoying. I'm sure you've heard this before, but as they say, the best camera is the one that you have on you. And in a situation where I'd be a little bit hesitant to fly, for example, my Mavic Air 2, because it's so loud, I'll grab this guy, I'll put it in the air, I'll get my shot, and nobody around me really cares. So even if you're a professional filmmaker already or a professional drone pilot, I would encourage anyone to have a Mini 2 in their bag because it's my secret little weapon when it comes to stealing drone shots. Are you sold yet? Because if you can't tell, I really love this Mini 2 for both beginners and more experienced professional flyers and filmmakers. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments and I will make sure to answer them. And until next time, see you guys in the next one. Peace. At this point in the video, I'm going to give you my guide I created for achieving cinematic drone footage in 5 simple steps. This guide is completely for free. It's down in the description. All you have to do is pop in your name and your email to get it, and it will be instantly sent right to your inbox. Go ahead and grab that. It's down below.